things.
Where do you think you guys have the most room for growth between now and 2 days away?
Well, we're always striving to, perfect things. But the thing, I think the big key as we get ready to go in to non-district and prepare for district is we've got to find some ways to develop some depth across the board. Right now we're a little thin up front defensively. I'd like to be able to find 2 more defensive linemen. I'd like to find another inside linebacker, outside linebacker that can contribute. We've got pretty good depth in the secondary. We always need as much depth as possible with the offensive line. But other than that, I mean, the depth's coming, but that's kind of what we're looking for. And then, just continue to execute and improve.
What do you know about Odessa High? They've been down the last couple of years. What are you expecting out of them on Friday?
Well, Odessa High is a very dangerous team, number one, because they're so well coached, and their kids do play hard. And I thought last year's version of the Broncos, I thought they got tons out of their talent, and they were ahead of us till right at the end of first half, and we were able to squeak a touchdown in late. But they took us to the limit last year, and they won some games that on paper maybe they weren't supposed to. We just want to make sure that's not the situation this year. We're expecting, a challenge on our hands. First game, everybody's going to be excited. How are we going to handle traveling? It'll be a lot of our guys' first varsity contest, and that's the one thing our guys always talked about from our JV squad, how fast the game is, and you hear that all the time, but I do think the speed of the game on Friday nights is different than Thursday, and we got to be ready to get acclimated to that game speed that we'll need to have Friday night.
What's the one big thing you're kind of looking for in that season opener when you go out there? What do you kind of emphasize you need to do to get off to a good start?
We'd like to pick up from where we left off last Friday with our scrimmage. We'd like to be a better football team after game 1 than we were the scrimmage. And as cliche as it might sound, then we want to be a better team week 2 than we were week 1. So we're looking for a little more consistency, hopefully correct the mistakes that we saw in the first scrimmage, and just continue to play hard and stay together.
How's everything looking? You guys return quite a bit on offense. I imagine things go pretty smooth on that side.
We do return a lot of guys. The offensive line is intact, and they're a really good group. We're excited about having them. Quarterback and Bustos are certainly, they got positive experience. You talk about experience sometimes that experience can be negative, and these 2 guys got positive experience. So we just got to let our running back and our 3 new receivers somehow get in the game and get the feel for it, get their feet wet a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be okay.
How anxious are they, Seth? I mean, to get things going. It's working out 9 months now. So.
I hope you always gauge. I'm hoping we're excited. You would think you would be excited first week, and we talked about last year. It didn't seem like we were as enthusiastic as we had been playing, and so you never know. We pulled off a little bit this year. We thought we might have ran them in the ground last year, so hopefully this year they're a little bit more up for it, and it's at home, so I think it'll benefit us.
Where do you need to see the most improvement?
Defense. I think ain't nobody's secret around here. We got to improve on defense. We got to tackle. We got to get stops. We can't score every series. And our kids worked really hard at improving themselves on defense, and that has been the main focus since November.
First game's always an unknown. This is even more of an unknown because the team you're playing has apparently got a new coach and changed offenses. What have you been able to go to their scrimmage?
Yeah, we got film on them, and they do a really good job. One thing that doesn't change in a year is their culture. They're very aggressive by nature, and they're going to be very physical and fast at football. Kind of like the Saints when you talk about they're losing their coach and everybody's worried about it. The culture won't change for another year, but 2 or 3 years down the road it'll be affected. But this year, those kids are tough as nails, and they'll be that way. Come play us.
Speaking of culture, you feel like you've kind of helped build that at Caprock, or the guys, do you get that sense going into the season?
Well, I think there's a culture that's been built, but it's been built by a lot of coaches and a lot of players, not just me. So they've won, and the players that have left have expect a lot out of them. So their culture is compete. It may not be win right now. It's compete as hard as you can, and prepare as hard as you can, and then wins come. So hopefully their culture is prepare during the week and prepare during off season, and let everything else take it.